Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And if you are dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, well, you can certainly see that Zombie Cleo has set up the reindeer behind us there. But not only that, Tango and B00 One Hundo have been working on this crazy complicated advent calendar. Now, with all this progress going on here, I want to just roll in and make a few quick fixes and changes and tweaks where I can. Like, for one thing, Cleo didn't have time to take down this pen. But you know what? This pen is basically worthless at this point. We don't need it. It's in the way. So we're just going to do some quick neighborhood, good neighbor, community watch, maintenance stuff. This is like the equivalent of picking up litter. Of course, none of the stuff that I wanted to pick up is actually going in there because I had too much stuff in my inventory. You might say, Joe, why would anyone ever have that much stuff in their inventory? Well, one of the things that I want to fix and help out with is that Tango and B-dubs did not have time while they were building this beautiful, majestic, incredible fireplace, which BT doubles. I gotta say, I have not seen anyone make bricks like this in Minecraft. That is a combination of the andesite wall and red terracotta, and it is too beautiful for my brain. It is so much. It is so much. But that's okay. They were spending all their time making that gorgeous thing, the little teddy bear. I love the candle, too. Look at that candle. That is the greatest candlestick I've ever seen in Minecraft. No exaggeration. But they didn't have time to fix everything they could with this. Kind of, what do you call this here? Like, grassy area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through and set up a bunch of snowmen, like so. I actually brought a lot of pumpkins and a little bit of snow. I'm hoping that if we just put in a handful of these folks kind of throughout here, it'll broadly speaking do the work necessary to clean up the whole area. Maybe that's just too optimistic. But what am I if not optimistic? So, there we go. Whoops. That was too stacked too high. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put one here. Put one there. Don't want to put them too close to the fireplace, because as I understand it, Tango attempted to put many of these close to the fireplace, and that did not go well for him. It did not tango well. Okay. You know what I'm also realizing is jumping with the jump boost to put things on top of things is a little disorienting. It's a little disorienting, but I am going to do my best to get these pumpkin fellas going on here. Boom. That was not my best. I mean, I was trying my hardest, but it wasn't representative of what I would like the results of such an effort to look like. And as such, I'm just going to keep doing more exemplary pumpkin placing. Or, actually, that's not a word that you can portmanteau with the other word. And we're just going to accept our limitations there. While the sky may be the limit to our jumping, pumpkin placing is not a phrasing that will easily portmanteau. So, boom. We are just creating a kind of golem fall here. And hopefully these little snowmen will get things underway in terms of generating a new beautiful snowfield. Tango and B-dubs will log back in to look at this build to like get a snapshot or get a screenshot or something for their Twitter. And they'll just be like, what? It's a Christmas miracle. My goodness. Boy, what day is it? Why, it's Christmas Day, sir. Well, it must be, because look at all this snow. It's a Christmas miracle. So anyway, we're just going to let these little snowmen run around here and spread a little Christmas cheer. Time skip. Good news, everyone. TangoTek has returned and successfully completed his Advent Calendar's number system. I know a lot of people were a little bit concerned about how many number 16s you really need on one calendar, or at least 1 month of one calendar. So I am pleased to see he has amended and fixed that for his friends. Also, he did some terraforming work to help encourage the snowmen to cover anything that they had missed over there. One thing I realized, though, is as we light stuff up, we're just going to need real snow blocks, okay? We can't just cover grass with snow and then call it a day. So, to that effect, I have arrived here with some actual snow that I harvested from below. And wouldn't you know, this is the future of snow-based terraforming. This is going to totally change the game, as the kids might say. Do the kids say that still? Do they still say, like, I don't know. Maybe they don't still say that. Maybe I'm out of touch. Okay. So, I'm not sure how I feel about mixing two colors that are so similar but not the same. But it just occurs to me that the way to do this is probably just to have this go straight down here. And I think that that is going to work well. But, like, this is going to be a pretty long slope. This grade here is going to... I mean, that's probably going to come out to here or so if we have that keep going. We can't just do the stairs. We're going to need to do the whole top layer of all of this with the snow blocks, okay? So these dirt blocks here, everything all through here is getting ripped out, tore out from the floor out, and replaced. So this is probably going to take me a little while. Why don't we go ahead and enjoy a nice, soothing, relaxing, peaceful, calm time skip. Ho, ho, howdy, y'all. Let's see what is inside box number 8. My good friend TangoTek sent me a message warning me that it is the date of my, well, I was going to say ascension, but I kind of fell there on his advent calendar. Boom, there we go. This box is for Joe. He did ask that we replace the blocks we remove when we're done so that we don't mar the overall build. Let's go ahead and find out what numero ocho has waiting for us. Merry Christmas, Joe. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Tango. Let's, should we leave a sign? I don't have a sign. Ooh, look at this. 4 extra elytras, each named Rudolph's Rockets, Christmas Wings, Santa's Sleigh, and, wait. So 2 Christmas Wings. Okay, interesting. These are an interesting choice. Merry Christmas by Tango. Let's see what he wrote. Merry Christmas, Joe. We all know you love to fly, but might be short on fuel. Well, no more. This Christmas you are gifted a lifetime pass to pyrotechnics. All the rockets you could ever want are yours, free for the taking. Enjoy and be merry, man. Wow. Okay, I was just thinking, like, when I opened this box, okay, I'm looking at this box, and I'm just like, wow, 4 elytras. I can fall in the nether a lot. Or the end, and not have to panic about getting a new replacement elytra. But, you know, the pork chops are nice because, you know, I've been doing a lot of grain cooking lately. Why am I taking these out of here? I should just move the whole box. But, yeah, I was like, beggars can't be choosers, but it would have been nice if I had more rockets because I've got 4, and, like, killing creepers is so time-consuming. I do that so poorly. We should probably go over... Whoops, that is not fixing the build. We should probably go visit that shop now and pick up our first batch of rockets. Because, yeah, this is a game changer. Like, this is going to change the season for me. Not just the Christmas season, not just winter of 2020, but Hermitcraft Season 7. We now have unlimited rocket power! And I gotta say, I am super excited about that. Let's go grab some, and then we can maybe fly around a bit and enjoy them. Time skip. Click, 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 click. Hey guys, I'm just getting some selfies with this cool moon robot guy. Also, possibly, maybe that's supposed to be an astronaut. I don't know. Either way, it's probably a bad idea to insult Tango when he's been so kind to us. I actually thanked him for his gift earlier, and he replied, ho, ho, ho. So, you know, maybe he's got a secret identity. Who can say? Let's go ahead and get our eyeballs back in our head, though, and out of selfie mode. And we're just going to grab, I figure, like, maybe 2 or 3 stacks of rockets. You know, I just want enough that we can fly around a little bit. Of course, this whole area here is super low frame rate laggy because, what? These are supposed to be gone. I was going to say because of those diamonds that Scar was supposed to remove, but apparently he removed them and there's still other sources of lag. No, he just never got around to removing them. I might have to burn this all down later, but I think he's in the middle of a time lapse right now, so I'm not going to do that until I can talk to him about it. But yeah. Anyway, why don't we go somewhere that we can actually fly around and really enjoy ourselves? You know what I just realized is now that we're actually in the Nether, we can just go ahead and use our fireworks here to get back to my base. There we go. Oh, look at this. So gorgeous. It's like the first time I've been able to spend rockets in the Nether for a while, because I'm always super wary about like burning through my reserves too quick, you know? But yeah, let's do some like three-dimensional flying tours. Woo! We got our dog sanctuary down there. We got our giant Slimer over here. We've just got a ton of great stuff. Little corn maze. Got our Pillar of Hercules. Man. I feel so free, you know? Like, it's one of those things where, like, the difference between having to limit your use of a resource versus just being able to soar without constantly having it hanging over you that you're depleting things, you know? It's a total night and day difference. I'm just experiencing these, like, flashes of gratitude. See, like, when was the last time I flew over B-Dubs' place? It just doesn't come up, you know? He's got these beautiful tulip fields here. And, you know... Oh, we better start heading home ourselves, though. It is getting late. So... Time skip. Whoosh. You hear that? That is the wind in my hair. I am enjoying the unfettered flight Tango has gifted to me. And you know what? I realized when I was reviewing that footage, I think that last bit of fireworks had a little bit of, what do you call it? Explosiveness on it. So I went ahead and loaded that into our target game here. On the off chance somebody's standing right here and shoots at it during the game. That'll just be a fun little surprise for them. Cleo hasn't had the chance to come over here and record this yet. She is currently waiting on a new microphone in the mail. But, you know, as it is always, you know, it's one of those things with technology. It's always something. But yeah, hope you all get a chance to check out whatever she has managed to put out lately. While I'm over here, though, one thing I wanted to do real quick was I had designed this construction tower to be destroyed quickly and easily. And you know what? It's no fun if I do that when y'all aren't here. So let's go ahead and remove this single block, which should allow that to just evaporate. Whoosh. Haha. My greatest trick was making y'all think I never existed at all. And then leaving a bunch of redstone torches that, you know, convey holiday blessings. I don't know. We're going to take those two. Yeah, what I really need to do is rig it somehow so that there's like a water stream that is activated after these self-destructing builds come down, and then they sweep away all the torches. It would still leave the water, so I'm not sure. I'd have to work out how to get rid of the water next. I'm not there yet. But anyway, core concept. I'm so excited about being able to fly up here and, like, really showcase the potential of the Hermit Zoo. We've got 4 exhibits in at this point. 3.5 if you consider Cub fans only halfway done. So, yeah, please leave comments in the YouTube comment section below about whose exhibit you'd love to see Cleo and I consider soon in upcoming episodes. Anyway, I need to head back to the Christmas district for now, because I had some thoughts on It's a Wonderful Life, which I just rewatched. But you know what? This is far too temperate a climate to consider such holiday musings. Time skip. As fun as it was flying around Cleo's base, check out the terraforming progress I've made in this space. You know, over there you can see how the land has a thin dusting of snow, flowers, grass, defiantly pressing upward, reaching toward the sun. Well, you know what I said? I said, no, not on my watch. And I have been snow filling as much of this as I can. You know, it's not perfect. from up here, you can still see there's some areas where there's a little bit of dirt poking through on either side. But I got all the grass that was at least blatantly obviously. Oh, dang it, there's some over there. I was so proud of myself for getting all of it. Oh, a creeper did this. Luckily, we have enough snow here for me to frantically and rapidly repair this. In the meantime, I wanted to talk a little bit, as I hinted at earlier, about the Frank Capra film, It's a Wonderful Life. I rewatched that recently, and I have some thoughts. Now, if you have not seen It's a Wonderful Life, I really recommend you check it out this Christmas. It is a pretty traditional story, and there's going to be some spoilers in this. So feel free to skip this if you haven't seen the 1946 film that played on television like multiple times every year for decades. Anyway, in the story, George Bailey spends a lot of time and energy helping people and being stressed out that he just can't ever get out of town. All he wants to do is travel and see the world. He wants to go to Europe on vacation. It gets canceled. He wants to go on a honeymoon to Europe. It gets canceled. Friends are going down to Florida, but he has to stay and work. It's just everything's a hassle for this poor guy. And, you know, that stung a lot deeper this year. It resonated with me more after spending so many months stuck in my apartment because, you know, we've all had kind of a harder year than usual. And seeing George Bailey, the character, the main character of It's a Wonderful Life, just being so flustered that he just can't get away, it just hit me harder than usual. And one of the lines that really resonated in me was that the antagonist of the film, Mr. Potter, who like has bought up most of the town after the stock market crash and is basically George Bailey is his only real economic rival in Bedford Falls. Like he says to Bailey at one point, he's just like, "You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. But when I look at you, all I can see is a warped, frustrated young man." And it's something that, like, stuck with me. I've been thinking about this a lot, chewing on it the last few days. Because, like, the point of the movie was that George didn't really, to some degree, appreciate how much good he had done in the community, or how much he had helped others, or how much others felt like appreciation for him. But like at the same time, it's not, you know, healthy to have all this weight and pressure on one guy like that. Like the point of the movie is, oh, well, you know, with the way the Depression and all this stuff went, if you hadn't stood up to this one mean rich guy, well, everything would be terrible forever. And it's like, that's a bad way to run a town, you know? Like, you need to have systemic checks and balances to prevent that sort of thing from happening. So it's not just the one guy who wants to go on vacation but can't, who, like, tips the balance between whether or not other people can live in safe and healthy conditions. And also, like, you know, there's this idea too that, like, okay, how do we make the sacrifices that we need to make or should make? Like, because the things that Bailey did were objectively the right things for a person to do in that circumstance. It was unfair that he kept being the one guy that was pushed into these circumstances. But he was, in my opinion, making sound ethical choices in the best interests of his friends and family and community. But, you know, if that's something we want to do with our lives, and they don't all have to be huge choices like taking over the savings and loans so that people can buy houses. But, like, even if it's just something like saying, okay, I'm going to avoid unnecessary trips outside of my apartment because we have a pandemic on, and that's a societally responsible thing for me to do. How do we avoid becoming warped, frustrated young men, in the words of the antagonist, Mr. Potter? Or, warped, frustrated young whatever. Or warped, frustrated old whatever. How do we make sure that we live in a sustainable way that allows us to continue doing good, And like I said, not necessarily huge, broad scale good, but just the little things, like not taking unnecessary risks that might get someone sick with a disease that you can't know if you have or not. Which maybe isn't a little thing now that I'm saying that out loud, but it's things that change one life at a time, not necessarily things that save the town, is kind of how I'm looking at that. And I don't have like a great answer to that question, but it's just the film is a good reminder, I think, for us to be generally trying to avoid getting to that breaking point, like George Bailey reached in the film. Having shared now what I thought was my Christmas time reflection on It's a Wonderful Life for this year, I also want to briefly nitpick the film. As is my right as a YouTuber, I can critique films and make a face that would go on the thumbnail of the video that would look kind of like this, or something. But anyway, realistically, the worst thing about that whole film is the thing where George wants to know what happened to his wife in the parallel universe or whatever where he'd never been born. Because the whole movie not the whole movie, but the whole third act of the movie, the angel Clarence is showing him places around town where everything is objectively worse for everyone, except for Potter, I guess, because Bailey had never been born. Now, he's seen all these other things, and they've all gone poorly, and he says to Clarence, he wants to see his wife. He's like, Mary, what about Mary, Clarence? And the angel's like, oh, you're not gonna like it, George. And then it turns out that she's an unmarried librarian who is locking up the library super late on Christmas Eve. And it's like, what? She's an old maid, in air quotes. What? That's the oh no, you're not gonna like it? No. Unacceptable. No. I will not. If we were gonna remake It's a Wonderful Life right now with Nicolas Cage as Jimmy Stewart's character George Bailey, the thing that we need to do there is we need to say, oh, you're not gonna like it, George. Mary ended up marrying Sam Wainwright, just like her mother always wanted. But, they were never a good match for each other. And she ended up hurling Sam Wainwright's mistress over a catwalk into a vat of plastic, George. It melted all the flesh off her bones, George. And then Mary, they put her on the stand to testify on her own behalf. She would never claim it was an accident. She said she did it on purpose and would do it again. She got life, George. Mary is serving life sentence upstate. That would have been a way better thing. Compared to everything else in the film, it's not even that dark. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of things that are kind of dark, I did some A/B testing on candy canes earlier and realized that the netherwort and the red terracotta here look good enough from most spaces, but from up here and further away, you really lose the red. So I've been doing red glazed terracotta, partially because I like the way too that when you come through the portal, the candy canes kind of frame Santa sleigh in the background there. But anyway, you don't actually have to show Mary throwing the woman into the vat of plastic. You just have to, you got to keep in mind, these were simpler times. This was like during World War II. Safety in factories wasn't, they had a lot of banners that said like, safety first, so we don't have, don't let the Jerrys get a free win. Wear your goggles or whatever. But like, nobody's stopping people from hurling, factory owners' mistresses off catwalks. It simply wasn't done. So, realistically, and there's a lot of death in this movie anyway. It's like, the pharmacist in the alternate dimension accidentally killed a kid with poison. All sorts of other stuff happens. An entire platoon of American soldiers is killed because George's brother wasn't there to save him. So Mary throwing a woman into a vat of molten plastic is completely within the boundaries established by the rest of the film, okay? It's a Wonderful Life. It's almost a perfect film. There is some rough editing. But yeah, other than the librarian thing and the jarring cuts, it's a great movie. Nearly perfect Christmas movie. But anyway, you may have noticed that this was a nearly perfect Hermitcraft episode that did not have any pre-roll ads. That is thanks to our Patreon sponsor, Chris. So thank you, Chris, for that. And you might have also noticed that this episode was not interrupted by any ads. That's thanks to another Patreon sponsor, Kathleen Heath. So thank you, Kathleen. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now read a poem of my own devising. I call this one, Not Music. What is the difference between music and not music? Where is the gap between song and sound? Where's the space between rhythm and repetition? When are textures just trappings and rests just respites? Which structures must we shape and which may we suppose from our surroundings? Is a dirge without melody merely a eulogy? Do we weep without rhythm so we don't attract the damned, when our relentless laments don't strike up the band, when our notes have no pitch and we write and pass by hand, when the dynamics fall static and we're scattered on the moans, or timbers take root above and cleave past our bones? What music was left us, and what have we left? What baseless ambitions will others recall? What fortes of ours drove friends up the wall? Why couldn't we measure more time with them all, laughing and singing well after nightfall? What's stopping us now? Where's our wherewithal? Why can't we make music from the soft cues around us? Why can't we shake our chains till the ringing unbounds us? Why can't we hear the earth and join enchanting in it? We can now. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.